Hello and welcome to episode 28 of Flush and Pod. My name is Jordan. Abby is on a plane working for the capitalist grindstone. Logan is in the pinnacle of capitalism, Las Vegas. How's it going, buddy?
Uh, I am fighting against con depression as hard as I can because I
Sure.
had so much fun the last like 4 days.
And that fall off is tough.
Yeah, it
They
really
don't talk
is.
about that enough of like, oh, you see all your friends that you only see online and then they're real human beings with like flesh and then like
Yep.
you get the party for a couple of days and then you're not. I have con depression from like FOMO.
Yeah.
Twitter made me so jealous seeing people open like the full art dragons and like seeing like you guys having a good time and like everybody having a nice Vegas weekend. Looked so
Yeah.
great. So we're gonna jump into it. What you did in Flesh and Blood this weekend was go to the Uprising
Whew.
premiere in Las
Yeah.
Vegas. Um, my Flesh and Blood week was much less interesting. So quickly, I did nothing.
Oh,
I
perfect.
watched you. I watched you on Twitter. Is what I did. Is what I did. Almost
Yeah.
impulse bought flights Friday night. Had a reasonable moment and didn't. But no, please tell me about this Uprising World premiere. You were the beat reporter on the ground. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Uh,
just have a little bit to tell people that weren't fortunate enough to go what it was like.
oh. So first off, I fully did not expect the number of people that were there. Uh, it was 700 and something.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
And I'm like, wait a second. I thought this was like nobody's coming because flights to Vegas and yada 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 and not enough time. And then nope, nope, nope. They all figured it out. Uh, and so the premiere event itself, like the sealed, I completely understand now. The James White sealed's kind of wonky because sealed Dromai is unplayable is the wrong word, but it's a struggle. Like trying to build a Dromai deck out of my pool, I had 24 playable cards. Like
Oh,
period. So it
interesting.
was like, okay, that's not going to work out. Uh, then, but Fi is just incredibly strong. Icelander's incredibly strong, and it would take like a very over the top draw my pool to do a thing. I went 3-3. I did not have the most busted pool. I did not have a bad pool. I did not open anything super good. Um, so just some casual fun. Uh, that was a good time. And uh, I'm going to get into what I think about the limited in this set a little bit later. So right now I'm just going to give the clip notes. The Friday night, this is where things went off the rails. Was there's a place called the Chandelier Bar
Oh yeah.
at the Cosmo. I introduced a grip of people to the Chandelier Bar, which is a bar inside of a chandelier. Uh, so you're sitting in the chandelier, and we had a couple, and then Momofuku, which is an Asian kind of family style restaurant. We managed to seat 10 of us or whatever it was in there. Had dinner and more drinks, and then we went back to the Chandelier Bar. And this is where mistakes start getting made.
That's where mistakes
Uh,
typically start, for what it's worth. Just a quick caveat. Whenever you go back to the original bar, that's how you know that, like, oh, that bar was that's where it's going to end. There is no going to another place. There, like, with the memory intact, that bar is the ground zero
yeah,
when you
it
go
is.
back.
Yeah. And so I, it was probably Martini 6 that was the bad idea. Um, I
Martini
lost
5 is
track.
fine.
Yeah, I think that was fine. I lost
Yeah.
track at like 9.
Okay.
Um,
Not
and then
bad.
plus whatever was in between. And then the we had Elaine Hammondtree, who was a friend of the podcast. Elaine's mom, who is an amazing, fun human. Uh, Tommy Fresh, who was staying with me in my room. Great experience, by the way. I would run anything back with Tommy. Holy shit. Uh, and then Dwayne, a local Iowa guy, and Anthony, who is staying in our room as well, uh, who is a Michigan guy, I believe. I'm from Philly originally. So we had a decent grip that went back to the Chandelier Bar, and we're still just going. Uh, Elaine and Elaine's mom and Dwayne leave, and then one of Anthony's friends shows up. And I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. We're gonna probably be heading out in a second anyway and cash out and just leave. Like, with checks done and paid. I go to the bathroom, and then weird shit happens to Logan starts, and this dude in the bathroom is just like and he's like, "Your hair is so pretty," and I'm like,
Oh.
"Cool." He's like, "Can I touch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, bro. You washed your hands, it's fine." And he starts petting me.
Nope.
I'm like, okay, well, that got weird.
Yep,
And he's
time to
like,
go.
"What's your name?" He's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Oh, my name's Logan." He's like, "My daughter's named Logan. Oh my God, I need to buy you a drink." Okay. Wander out and then meet his wife, who was waiting for him. And this guy's fucking
I
wrecked, by
usually
the
skip
way.
this part of the videos, Logan.
No, nothing like that. Well, it got close for Tommy, but nothing like that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh, just come down. We still have our table and the chandelier, so just come on down." So they come down and they start buying drinks for everyone. And so our we're leaving now turned into we're leaving 90 minutes later,
Oh
uh,
man.
and things have gotten a lot more out of hand. The guy, his name was Ty from Vancouver, was so far up Tommy, like just became Tommy's new best friend in like 4 seconds. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
that's weird. I'm just gonna talk to your wife, I guess. Uh, they're very, from Vancouver, very cool, very nice people. But that got out of hand, and so obviously my Saturday morning for our calling, I was in not peak condition. Uh, I am 41 years old. I do not bounce back like I used to. So there's a picture of me on Twitter that Tommy decided to fucking take, where it's like team lost in the sauce is ready to go. We were all lost in the sauce, by the way. All of us were just done, and I look like I died twice and was resurrected in that picture, because that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
All this time we found out so many cool things about the people that we were with, like Elaine and her family and everything else. It was just an insane story that is tons of fun. Uh, and then obviously I got to know Tommy a lot better. And then I kind of took Saturday off of doing a whole lot outside of the calling because I was a dead man.
Yeah.
But the calling did not go in our favor. Uh, Now, to be clear, our team consistency was Tommy was playing Levia. That is the proper way to pronounce it, I found out. Uh,
Levia?
Levia, yeah, like Leviathan. Yeah.
Huh.
Um, but that's what Tommy was on.
Okay.
And then Anthony was on Data Doll.
All right.
So now I know that we're. I was so happy understanding that we may just O3 this and I can go and sleep. Uh, and I was on Kasai. And then we did the shit thing in one round one. Uh, but we dropped it 2-3. You know, it was just not going to be the day for Data Doll to shine. And the swinginess of Levia and one consistent deck wasn't going to do it. So we got out of there pretty quick. And like I said, I kind of I tried to take the night off. I did my best. I got some sleep, ate some food, got some, got a slice. I like going to get a random slice, like
Sure. Yeah.
wander
Nothing wrong
down,
with
so get a
random.
fucking slice. Yeah,
It's a
just go
little
get a
za.
slice.
Yeah.
Little Zoc, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place here called Pizza and Cake. Those are the two things they serve. Perfect.
Nothing wrong
I
with
love
that.
pizza. I love cake. Uh, so at some point, Tommy made the decision that the party needed to come to our room, and it
Okay.
did.
Right up. Here we go.
Okay, cool. I'm in. I'm just gonna kind of chill it. And so the Seth and Caleb Langle were up here with I believe Seth's girlfriend, and we just hung out. Tommy, I don't. Tommy was just hammered at one point. Was like, they don't have Rolling Rock in Nevada, do they? And I'm like, no, they don't have Rolling Rock in Nevada. It doesn't come this far west. Well, we were in Walgreens, and he sees like this ancient 12 of Rolling Rock that is pushed way back in the cooler
Oh
where
my
no one could
god.
ever find it. I'm like, this motherfucker Stone Cold found the last 12 of Rolling Rock west of the Rocky Mountains. What the fuck? So we were rolling with the rock because that's what we do, I guess.
That's a good. That's a good party beer. It's a good carry
It
with you
is.
beer.
It's a good carry beer. And so we rolled with the rock a little bit with the Langle brothers, and then they took off to go down to Fremont, and I was like, okay, now I can chill and go to sleep. Then Anthony comes in to introduce his wife, and I'm like, okay, also a ton of fun. So I'm like, all right, party came back to me, that's fine. But I took the night off so that I would feel like a human being yesterday, and I did. And I didn't do a whole lot on Sunday outside of I played a Tales of Aria draft because to warm up because there was an Uprising draft that was occurring. There were 290 players in
The
the
largest draft
Uprising
of all
draft,
time, right?
a largest draft of all time. And whole fuck. Um, that was so they potted it. And that was it was a good time. It was actually a really fun time. And like I said, I'll get into the draft and I'll get into the gameplay experience and just kind of recap the weekend.
No, sure, yeah.
Uh, and then last night the decision was made that we needed to go top golf because what's better than a tower of beer, clubs, and smashing balls? I
It's
don't
the
know.
best way to spend time, period.
Right.
I love Topgolf.
Yeah. So we had Anthony and his wife Elise. We had Missy and Elaine, Flake, and Majin, Caleb, Majin Bay. Tannen showed up eventually. Um, just doing Tannen things. He had got his ass beat at Hofbrauhaus by the waitress.
I saw
There's a
the
picture.
picture of
There's a pic
that.
on Twitter, so
Yeah.
I think I'm safe to talk about that because there is a picture on Twitter.
I didn't
That
know they
was
did
that
that
was
at
tweeted by
Hofbrauhaus.
Channel Fireball. Yeah, I guess they do.
Like, there's Hofbrauhauses here, and like, they
I
don't do that.
I have never had my ass paddle at a Hofbrauhaus in my life.
It's like a
Full
normal
stop.
restaurant.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I so we were up there. We were up there for about 2.5 hours, just pounding and just going ham, and it was so much fun. Like I'm so glad Tommy was there too, and Mo Bogsley, so Mark Johnson
Yep.
was with us too, and it was just a ton of fun. It was a great time. I'm glad that we got to do that with everybody. Get up there, get some time. And like I said, the only thing that I'm sitting there thinking the whole time is like, man, Jordan and Abby would be having so much fucking fun right
God
now.
damn,
They
yeah.
would be just dying. Uh, so it was the whole social aspect of it just reinforced how insanely fun this community is. Like people just want to do crazy shit and have a good time, and that's what they did. Everybody just did crazy shit and had a good time.
Well, I'm excited a little bit because not this coming weekend, but next weekend we get to pseudo run it back. It's
Oh, we
not
do.
Mansfield is not Las Vegas, but
Um,
the people are what matters, I guess. It's the flesh and blood that makes the experience, not so much the location.
you need a
Um,
spot to post up and put some booze in your body.
yeah,
We can
Mansfield's
work.
good for that.
We can work out the details.
Yeah, right.
So
Like after that, it's all free roll, right?
yeah, is
Um,
there a Top Golf in Columbus? Because
there is,
oh,
we
then
have
fuck
one.
it, we'll just go Top Golf in Columbus then.
We
Just
do have
pound
one.
smash balls in Columbus too.
It's like 20 minutes from
And
my house, actually.
yeah,
It's
I
nice,
guarantee Flake would be like, okay, yeah, let's go do
and it's
that.
actually closer to Mansfield than it is to my like. It's not so far south that it's inconvenient from Mansfield.
Yeah,
So it's like 40
so
minutes
yeah,
or something.
we could
Well
just
worth
run back Top Golfing,
on Friday
and
night or
just
whatever.
rebuy the experience. Yeah, with the Tannen, yeah, Tannen and Flake will be there, and
There we
I would
go.
love to see Dalen swing a golf club. Uh, like that just seems like the
Like
craziest thing.
his chest is so like dense. I wonder
Yeah,
if like what his rotation looks like.
yeah. Can he turn through it?
Right, right. Because he
Um,
like being a defensive lineman is a sideways or a forward action. There's not a lot of like.
right, right. And
I don't know.
it'd be interesting because I could see Tannen because Tannen was a golf state champion,
Oh, really?
and yeah, so his swing is very buttery. Uh, and he was watching me because I do play a lot of golf, and he was watching me, and I was starting to get loose, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, you're turning through that fucker now, like you're loose." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we are now loose, like we are now lighting shit up." And it took probably took about 20, 15 balls to really get loose, and which is why I lost to Flake in the first round of 20, but the second round of 20, I beat Flake with two different golfers. So I put him in third place where he belongs. And I don't. He doesn't listen to this show. He'll never know.
No, no,
Uh,
but that's good.
but I
That's
can't
funny.
wait because yeah, this is gonna be the first time he's like, you know what? Maybe I should just listen to Fletcher. You motherfucker. But like ultimately, also Elaine's obsession with pickles is a little much.
It's almost inappropriate.
So she ordered a round of JMO shots for everybody,
Okay,
which I
reasonable.
appreciate that. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
thank
With
you.
pickle juice backers.
Disgusting. Take your money back. I
Yeah,
don't want
what
it.
the fuck are you doing?
I don't want your
And
free shit.
she's like the shots my friendship, the Jameson's my friendship to you, and the pickle juice is your friendship to me. And I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Nope,
That's
I don't
like
like anybody that much.
that's like just that's just enough for me to like. I guess you did bring me Jameson. Fine. It was disgusting.
Oh
I
my
will never
god.
do that again.
Dude, I
Not
can eat him on
nope.
a chicken sandwich and that is it. I can't drink pickle juice.
I will snort vodka before I will drink a pickleback JMO shot again. Hands down.
Oh
If
my
you give me the
god.
option of Logan, here are 2 lines of vodka, or you can drink this pickle juice behind this Jameson, I'll be like, give me a straw.
Yeah, like
Uh,
I don't need sinuses ever again. It's fine. Like, I don't need
actually,
them.
there is a shot that I do to get free drinks at bars, called the Winter Hunting, which is you take 2 shot glasses, one face up, one face down. In the face up shot glass, you put whiskey. In the face down, you put in the divot of the shot glass, you put vodka, and then you snort the vodka, pound the whiskey, and do it again for the other nostril. Uh,
God.
at which point the bartender just knows you're batshit crazy, and they now don't want to give you a tab that's going to make you react, so they just pay for everything. Uh, and I've drank free on that any number of times, but it also just like does clear your sinuses for days.
I have to
Like
imagine.
you are smelling
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
It
fuck a
is.
Sudafed, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it blows Sudafed out of the water. I So the degen shit did happen a bit here,
Good. That's great.
because it's supposed to,
Yeah, it's
I guess.
A, you're in Las Vegas. Like
Yeah,
this is the town where degen shit happens, and B, like that's what's fun, like about seeing friends you don't see regularly, right? Like that is the benefit
yeah,
of it.
yeah. A
Um,
lot of it,
you did play a lot of Flesh and Blood. I'm gonna do my
a
best
decent
Abby
amount.
here.
Hmm.
People have pre-releases this weekend coming up, and
Yep.
you have more experience than I imagine all of our listeners with this format that they're about to play.
Sadly, yes, because I really wish they were all here.
Yeah, right. I'm playing 3 this weekend. I don't know how many you have on the docket.
Two, just two.
2?
Yep.
Saturday, Sunday?
Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday. Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, they were both given to the 2 LGSs that we play at, and both were required on Sunday, I think.
Weird.
And yeah, it was weird. Whatever happened. So what's happening is the one starts at noon, and then whenever that one's done, there's a 30-minute timer that starts that we all get to go get to the next LGS to play whoever's playing in the next one.
Oh, that's really cool. They're
Yep,
working together at least.
yep, they are. And then the second one is doing something super unreal, and they're doing uh, the event as a I believe they're doing it as it's either a sealed and then split off into, because it's 16 cap. I think all of them are 16 cap. And then split off into 2 pods of 8 and then draft it in the pods of 8. And then just prize packs of Uprising to the top 4.
Okay.
And then prize packs of other stuff to everybody else.
That's cool.
So
I like
everybody
that.
gets 2 Uprising events out of it. I thought that was a really cool idea. That's good community building, honestly.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Uh,
so I'm going to no, go ahead.
no, 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 you're fine. Tell me where you're going.
So Saturday I'm going to be on the board, which is friend of the show Teague, who asks a lot of
Okay.
our thought-provoking questions. He's the TO there. Um, Going to that one Saturday morning. I'm a little bummed at the weekend just because like it's Pride in Columbus this weekend, and like I was gonna go do family stuff that like down at Pride, but I'm gonna play an Uprising pre-release and then go. And then Sunday is Keith at the Realms, and they got an option to I don't know what stores got this. Beyond the Board might as well, but they have a an expanded one. I think they can take up to 32 players. They got like additional
Oh, okay.
product from LSS to like run extra stuff. Both of those are traditional pre-releases. The one Friday that I'm going to is it's literally just like 2 rounds of booster draft.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, so and I've never been to the store we're going to, but I called them and like pre-registered, and they were super excited about it. So I'm pretty excited to do that. I'm gonna grab gonna have a playset of all the promos, which I'm pretty excited about. Um, Gonna have Abby's playing Saturday and Sunday, so we're gonna have a box ish of Uprising
Yeah.
between us already opened, so that'll be cool. Um, what did you learn about the format? I know you talked a little bit about how sealed is weird, and you said it was
Yep.
Dramai that is very narrow, that you have to have a very much
Mhm.
very good thing. So when you say that, does it scale very well? Like if you have the Dramai deck, is your deck busted, or is it you have to have a very good deck to be average?
You have to you have to have enough pieces to be good enough. And I think that there is a potential where if somebody just gets, the packs, it looked like on average, it looks like a box has between 6 and 8 dragons in it.
Okay.
So if you happen to get the 6 packs out of the box that has 3 or 4 dragons or more, you have a deck, and you're going to. It does a lot. The dragons do a lot of work. Um, my only Dromai loss on the weekend, including the draft and the premier event, was to a 5 dragon Dromai deck, and
Yeah.
the fuck are you gonna do?
Right.
Um, that gets
Permanents in
hard
this
in
game are not
competition.
easy to deal with.
No. And my strategy was largely to just ignore them. And I would have been fine to ignore them and would think I probably win the race. But the quell pieces of equipment are way better than you think they are. Uh, so like on those bigger pivot turns where I'm trying to go ultra wide, my opponent was kind of had the foresight to say, okay, this is a turn where I'm going to blow one of my pieces of quell and quell, you know, quell a point off of every single attack that you do. And it's like, yep, that's very good. So it's kind of like the quell pieces in Dromai specifically, but a little bit in Icelander, but Icelander doesn't need them as much, are
Sure.
very good at slowing down Fi. The um, the arcane barrier pieces, which are just your Aether Ashlings, are very good at slowing down Icelander. So you have game plan availability against both the decks. Your problem is in sealed having pieces because you need a lot. Like the generic-ish draconic attacks don't do a whole lot for Dromai because it just doesn't fit the game plan as well as it does for Fi. It fits it
Okay.
in the narrow instance that it creates ash tokens. That's about it. So if you don't have enough dragons to convert your ash tokens or anything, enough sweeps to make a bunch of Aether Ashlings to make it hard, uh, that's a problem. And Fi is a straight up race deck. Like there are so many 0 3 for 3 go again, and 1 for 4 go again, and it's absurd how much how wide you can go in a turn. Like I had one of the Rays. I can't remember the name of it now, but one of the Rays cards that is uh 1 for 3, and it or rupture, not Rays, rupture. Had rupture on it. So if it was the fourth or higher chain link, it gets plus X, where X is twice the number of Phoenix Flames you control, and dominate. I'm like,
Oh,
this is never gonna matter. Like, how is this ever
ah,
gonna matter?
it was,
And then
wasn't
I'm
it?
like, well, that's the end of my chain. So here's 8 dominate. No problem. Had the had the
From the show,
draconic
I
tome.
guess.
Yeah, I had the draconic tome, and I'm like, God, how do you get to 4 chain links? And I'm like, by playing your cards. Huh? What do you know?
Just playing as they come, huh?
Yeah, just draw 2. Cool. I, a lot of times the right thing to do is or was to especially in Fi, was to get to set up your turns by just like rebuying your like have if you had 2 Phoenix Flames, rebuy the one, play one, rebuy one, and then arsenal one you rebought. So now you have a guaranteed 2 on the next turn and potentially more. The Phoenix Flames are strikingly good. Uh, just as a it feels bad to block them. They're like a Kodachi. They feel like Kodachis. Um, and then being able to rebuy one, and then also Fi just has this stupid thing where they start with a 5 card hand. Like they start the game with 5 cards because there's a Phoenix Flame in the graveyard to start.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a 5 card hand.
How good is that going to
and
be in like Blitz and
dumb as shit.
two?
Well, Blitz you only get 2 Phoenix Flames.
Oh, it's like capped.
Um,
Okay. Oh,
well,
because
yeah,
I
I
guess
mean,
that's their deck building restriction, right?
mhm. But in CC, you at least have a little bit more deck density, so maybe. But there are so many things that tutor Phoenix Flames or bring them back or whatever. It's like, oh. And then the thing about Phi that struck me was sequencing. It is so important to sequence correctly, because otherwise you're going to miss, you know, one damage here, one damage here, and it starts to add up. Especially like making sure you hit your Heat Wave turns, which is Heat Wave gives your Phoenix Flames +1 till end of turn, as it's a piece of equipment. So you break it, and now your Phoenix Flames are hitting for 2. Um, Uprising is a dumb as shit card. It, it's just like, all right, well, I got this, and suddenly, and then it's like you have this in a Heat Wave, and you just happen to have your Phoenix Flames rolled up. It's like 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. It's just
It
it,
just
it,
gets out
it
of
just
control a little bit.
yeah, it just gets out of hand. And then the equipment, the sword, the ninja sword is better than I thought it was.
So
Um,
I've seen that in a lot of the lists for Fae.
mhm.
Is that, do you think that is going to be the staple over Kadachi?
I'm undecided. Draconic chain links matter a ton for the way things go off. It is not as it's a more efficient attack than Kadachi's, because you're getting 3 damage for 2 versus 2 damage for 2, but it's much harder to block Kadachi's because
Right.
you're
Yeah,
off
there
break
is some
point.
efficiency
Yeah.
built into two separate attacks as opposed to,
Yep. hmm
yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know yet. The Draconic chain link part is more than a little important. Uh, it's going to
Hmm.
play a lot like a Cheerios deck in
Oh,
in
yeah, you're
most
just
cases.
playing 4 cards a turn. Maybe you could draw a setup card and play 5 the next turn. Yeah.
Oh, you have not watched the gameplay videos that people have released with Five, then? Okay.
No, I have not. When I
So
say zero flesh and blood.
there's one on Sin's Twitter account, where you watch it, and the Phi go off turn wound up being 15 chain links.
What?
Yeah.
Who's Twitter? Who's Twitter? I gotta link it in the show notes.
Yeah.
See
Sins.
Sin.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
I'll find it. Like, great radio again.
Great radio, excellent radio. Yeah,
I'll
work
get
on
it and
that.
send it to you. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, work on that. That's cool. That's cool. So, um, if you had to give somebody one biggest tip going into their pre-release this weekend on how to like, I don't know, spiking a pre-release is a weird vibe, but if somebody wanted to spike the pre-release, biggest tip you could give them.
Uh, if it's sealed, I would say count your dragons, and if it's less than 3, it's not play. Drumlight's probably not playable.
Okay.
Count your blues, and for Icelander, if it's under 10, Icelander's probably not playable. Count your zero. Count your 0 for X go agains. It's You're going to think that it's like, oh, maybe there'll be like 4 or 5. Maybe no, there'll be like 15. Uh, so because you have yellows and blues, all of those are playable, every single one. Uh, because pitching this 0 for 2 go again to just smash with your sword instead, totally reasonable. Same thing. And the Phoenix Flame counterplay. So like some of it kind of feels weird, like the card Burn Away is 0 for 2, but it also has you may banish a Phoenix Flame from your graveyard. If you do this, it gets +2 and go again, so it's 0 for 4 go again. It's really adorable to get multiple Phoenix Flames and then break the chain, putting them in the graveyard, and then start Burn Away and
Oh yeah.
watching shit just get nuts. I did that to somebody, and they're like, I think I got big brained. I'm like, you got medium brained. I do not have the ability to bring big brain anybody. So you got like medium brained. Uh, so yeah, that was I would say, and then in draft, read the table. Uh, I I wouldn't say trapped, because I went 2-1 in the premier draft, only losing to 5 Dragon Dromai, who played 4 of their 5 dragons. So, but and also full quell equipment. Shit, what am I gonna do? Uh, but I got sort of trapped because I opened an uprising, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And there was ninja to my left, so I got cut kind of hard in pack two. But my last picks were all playable wizard cards. There's one Icelander at my table, and if I would have made that read in late in pack one, I mean, I'm playing this uprising, but Jesus, the Icelander build would have been sweet. Uh,
So pivoting does seem much more important in this than maybe it
mhm,
even entails. Yeah.
correct. Yep.
Okay.
And then also, so like Flake had this happen to him where he was there was two Dromai to his left, three Dromai to his right. So he pegged that he was probably one or either one of one or one of two ninja players. So he just went ninja because he was getting fed. But there was one Icelander at the table that was vacuuming up all of the Icelander cards.
Oh, they just
Uh,
gobble their pot up.
yep, and just the card Sigil of Permafrost, which is
Yeah.
a wizard defense reaction, is so damn good that I was seeing, and this is where I should have pivoted, was I was seeing like 11th pick sigils in pack one, and I'm like, whoa, okay, well, I'm gonna take this because I did take one. Like I'm gonna take this and see, but that shouldn't be here. Uh, and I didn't know if that was just a product of what was going on, but I had good players in my pod. It's not that I didn't. Uh, I think that people were just like kind of into forcing what they wanted to do, and I just opened an uprising. So yeah, whatever.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, all right. In addition to pre-releases and the world premiere, there was a team blitz calling this weekend. There were three of them, I guess, at each of the premieres around the world.
Hmm.
Sydney was taken down by the Bolton Boys, featuring a team of Briar, Prism, and Oldham. Madrid was taken down by the Sunflower Samurai of Kano, Kasai, and Oldham. And Las Vegas didn't have a team name. Oldham, Kano, and Reinar were the decks that took those down to the Brute
It was
Boys.
Team Boar.
Team Vor. That's fair.
It was Team Boar.
Uh, that's fair. Pablo Pintor, Pro Tour champion, was part of the winning team in Madrid. Oldham shows up in every list or in every team.
Hmm.
I don't think that's
Every team,
shocked anybody. Kano
not at
was
all.
featured in two of the three. Do you know how Living Legends points work for this? Was there any word on
Nope,
the street about that?
there was not. But if these count, Oldham is now getting dangerously close.
Yeah, three calling wins this weekend would be a, a long way there, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he was at, but a calling win is 100, right?
I don't know. Does the
No, I
table
think it's
change
50,
for?
and I think it's 50 in blitz.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it's half.
It might change for, yeah. We can pull it up really quick. Great radio. Hello. Um, yeah, Living Legends points by event type callings are 100, but yeah, I think that's halved. And then in um, Children Blitz, what is it called? Blitz. Um, Oldham has 366. So if it took down three, that would be it. So 150. Yeah, that would, because it's 500, right? You're muted. So
That is, I'm a Zoom meeting fucking idiot. Uh,
no, you were eating. You did the
but
right thing. You did the right thing.
yeah, right, I did. So yeah, so it'd be 150 plus 366 is 516. So
That'd be it. Yeah.
if that happened, Oldham is gone in Blitz, and Shane and Star Wars are gone in CC
Yep. Yep. So we would have Oldham and
in 2 weeks
Viserai being dead in Blitz.
in Blitz. Yep.
Yep. And then Kano would actually jump up into the 320s. I'm sorry, into the late 200s with 2 points. So
Yeah, it starts getting
the
close.
Living Legend format's starting to flush itself out a little bit, it
It's
looks like.
starting to get there a little bit.
Gonna get there.
Yeah, and there
Any quick
was
thoughts on the Blitz? Sorry.
Blitz is Blitz.
Yeah.
Uh, it is swingier. It is more variance. It is uh, it's just different, and it really is. And you can tell by some of the compositions because like those Reinar decks were mostly just all in Reinar.
I love that deck.
Just intimidate your hand, and bye bye.
Yep.
Like
I have it
13,
built to the
13
left of
twice is
me.
good enough. Yeah,
I love it.
13 twice is good enough.
Yep. If you ever roll 4
Uh,
on your scab skin leathers, you're dead.
yeah, that
Like,
was basically what it looked like. Yep.
yeah.
And
Brute boys,
uh,
rise up.
Fruit by his rise up. The perfect counter, it turns out, to Kasai is actually just dash.
Really?
Boost dash. You if you stumble once in the first 4 turns as Kasai, when they have Teklo Pounder going, you are fucking murdered. There
I
just
feel like
isn't enough for you to do.
Dash is one of those decks that has fallen off of the radar for modern Fab players, and like they
Mhm.
don't know how to play against it, and myself included. That it could randomly just come out and win a tournament here because it hasn't been really a thing since Arcane Rising, right? Since early Arcane Rising, and that's
Yeah,
way
and
before most players.
the thing keeping it down was really Starvo. Was the ability to Crown Shield and Oldhim too, but Oldhim's still um, a very difficult deck to play, and there's still a lot of counterplay to Oldhim.
Yeah,
So I think that whereas there just wasn't much counterplay to Starvo, like whatever.
sure.
So I think in this case you have kind of the harder thing for Dash to deal with is gone, and now you have this other deck that is a problem. But whatever. I do think that some of those aggro decks, specifically the ones that are kind of trying to do more of the 0/4 things, are going to have a real problem with Icelander because that it it is a frustrating amount of permission type things that happen in that deck.
Interesting.
Uh, but again, if Icelander stumbles, there's not a whole lot they can do. It is what it is.
They have hands that just don't do anything. Sure.
Right. Yep. And then, but the every with the because we didn't have the full list of legendaries last time we recorded.
No.
Um, we didn't know what the Fabled was yet, which that fucking card. I but the all the legendaries outside of a couple of questionables are all very good. Um, like Ghostly Touch is questionable. I don't know if it's good or not. I have no clue. I read it and I can come up with like in my head, I can come up with ways for it to be good, but it feels narrow and like you need games to go long in order for it to do a thing. I don't know. And it requires popping the phantasms, and some decks just aren't going to do that. They don't have sixes. They don't
It's
care.
yeah, just literally why phantasms are good, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, and if your deck is good already, like Ghostly Touch doesn't do anything. So maybe it's kind of just a sideboard option. The headpiece is the headpiece is unreal good. Um, the chest piece for the Draconics is also just unreal good.
Yes.
And the ninja arms, um, I had to Google priapism again because I didn't know what the time frame was that you needed to call a doctor when I read that card. But it was because to me, I just read it and went, "So wait a second, did we just staple Ira's ability to Katsu? Is that what happened?"
Seems like it.
Because I can just play yellows in Katsu now, and then
Dope.
those yellows are reds.
Stand for that.
Mhm. I'm good for that. Uh, so that's super interesting how
Yeah.
that's going to work. And
Yeah.
it
So
might be. Go ahead.
no. I was gonna say we have a lot to consider, but if you haven't, I was gonna transition. But if you have another thing to add, go ahead.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm interested because the way I read Katsu right now is that the combo lines might not be important, and outside of the Mugenshi line, and everything else is just going to be value cards. And if that's the case, then you have to determine is the Mugenshi line better than just everything that Fi does. Um,
Yeah. If the
and
text
the
box is blank, right? Like
right, yep,
you might as well
and
play.
the 5 card hand
Right.
and a card that is one draw to. Uh, and by when I say that, there it looks like there's a hoop to jump through. There's no hoop.
That's
It's
a
one.
zero
It's
ability, right?
no. It costs one.
Oh, is that
The
the?
tome
Yeah.
the tome costs one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But at the same time, it's one resource draw to, and it requires 4 chain links. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be sometimes it gets stuck. It'll be hard to get 4 chain. Nope, sure isn't. It's real easy,
Gross.
even in limited. It's super simple.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I'm
it
excited.
is not hard.
Wow.
So that card is pretty busted.
What do you
Um,
think about playable Fableds? Because Blood of the Drakai is a good flesh and blood card.
it's
Like, you look at
so,
other Fableds and you go like, all right, use case for sure, but not like required for most.
right. Mhm.
Like library is an exception, I think, but like Blood of the Drakai is like, hey, if you should have this in your deck.
If you are draconic, you need this card.
Yeah.
The the read I got in the room was that the rainbow foil was appearing more frequently, but the cold foil was astronomically rare.
Did you get the vibe
So
that legendaries were more popular in general?
there were more legendaries open in general. Mhm.
I heard somebody on Reddit was saying like around them it was like one a box.
In
Was
some
the rate?
cases, it was getting there, but there was a lot of things that influenced that. So somebody opened 2 in one pack.
Oh,
They opened a cold foil and a rainbow foil in the
okay,
same pack.
yeah,
So
fair
that
and
starts to throw
balanced.
the that starts to throw the math off.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
in actual zero. Oh no, wait a second. So I was sitting next to Kellen, Red Zone Rogue, during the premiere, and he opened the cold foil ice helm,
Okay.
and then also had a busted a super good Icelander pool, like 16 playable blues. Uh, so he kind of just had it all, and I'm like, I grabbed the wrong packs. Uh, but the in the sealed, or not the sealed, but in the premiere draft, or the Uprising draft on yesterday, there was no legendary open at my table, and
Oh wow.
it does seem like the Marvel dragons are pretty rare. But the things we didn't see were way cooler. Well, okay, not way cooler. The dragons look way better in person. Like they look good, not in person. In person, they look fucking phenomenal. But you know what looks better? Full art cold foil Phoenix Flames.
Oh, I've
Those exist.
yeah, I want those. I saw pictures on Twitter.
And you know what's kind of not as cool as that, but close?
That
Double sided cold foil ash tokens.
those exist?
Oh yeah, I I
Huh.
I, uh, I played the vendor game on Friday. I think it was Friday, but I played the vendor game where I was talking to a vendor and somebody came up with one of those tokens, and I'm like, "Fuck me, that's pretty." And he's like, "I don't even know what to offer." And I'm like, "Offer him 30, I'll give you 31." And he's just like, "Okay, let's try that." He's like 30, and the guy's like, "Okay." And then he just hands it to me and goes 31. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, here's the extra dollar. You made a dollar. You mean a 5 second
What?
transaction to make a dollar? Take it every time because nobody knows the number on it. Nobody has
No,
any clue." And I was buying it as a
no.
gift for Tommy because Tommy had seen the one that because somebody had walked up with one to show it to Kellen, and Kellen took a video of it, and so I saw Kellen, Tommy and I were talking, and Kellen came up, and I was just like, "Can you show him the video of the Ash token?" And Tommy's like, "Oh my god, that's so pretty," in the Jersey shit that Tommy talks,
Yeah.
and I I then so I pulled that so I could give Tommy one so that he'd have one because me and just wanting to give gifts to people when I see
Sure.
that see
Wants a
somebody that
thing.
likes something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's $30. Sure, like let's do that. Let's make him happy. Like fuck, I like making people happy. Uh, but it is gorgeous. It is so fucking pretty
That's
because it is
awesome.
cold foil on both sides. The ash is cold foil and the ashling is cold foil.
That's crazy. I'm trying to find any on Star or on TCG Play right now, and there's not. I mean, obviously, like only so many packs have been open, but I need to see those. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
it is super pretty. So there's a bunch of things that we just didn't know uh,
That's
were
fun.
were stuff like that. Like the Frost Hex actually has a cold foil version. Did not know.
Oh wow.
Yep.
What?
And it looks amazing because the actual like intricate little art that it has, um, where it kind of shows like a snowflake
Sure.
type of thing with a pattern built into it. That's the only thing that's really cold foil, that and the border.
Oh, interesting. Does it look
And so just
cool like that?
gorgeous. It is super pretty.
Awesome.
And Necria looks absurd in cold foil or in the Marvel. The only dragon I thought that was kind of medium uh, in the Marvel treatment was I didn't think that the Dromai looked as good as I wanted it to, but
Yeah.
they're not the Dromai, the uh, Optima. Maybe it's that one. I can't. It's like the kind of purplish art one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that one didn't look as good.
Is the green one
The
as dope in
green
real life?
the green one looks as dope in real life. Like looks even
Okay.
better.
I saw Elaine's picture of it and it looked
Yeah,
incredible. So
she handed that to me, and I was just like, okay, that's pretty as shit.
that's awesome. All right. Let's go on to some listener questions. We have a couple of serious ones, a couple of goofy ones. Uh, Keith via Discord, aka Keith K's from the Realm.
Love the
What
case.
was the best bread item you had when you were in at the Uprising World Premiere? Follow up: since beer is arguably not bread, asterisks. We don't agree to that. What
Not at
was
all.
the best? What was the best beer slash drink you had in Vegas too? So let's do this: best solid bread and best liquid bread. Maybe that's the way we
Best
distinguish it from now on.
solid and liquid bread. Okay, I can do that. Best solid bread. Uh, and I'm break the format again because I don't. That's how I do things. I is so like I said. There are around the strip. There are cake vending machines, and they have fresh cake delivered to them daily. The vending machines are refrigerated, so you pay the money, and then it shoots you out a piece of cake, and then
Okay.
shoots you out a fork, and you have a cake.
All right.
It is top five dead or alive best cake I've ever had. It
Jesus.
is tremendously good cake, and they also because it's the same chef that does a pizza place that's also called Pizza and Cake,
Right.
which sign me the fuck up, right?
Right.
A slice and a slice. So I would say that just pizza and cake in general, but I because pizza also bread and crust, and this is like the Neapolitan nice crispy flat crust, that isn't trying to overwhelm the rest of the stuff. It has its own flavor, which is a great thing to do. A little garlicky, Let's get there.
Right. Right.
Uh, so that was amazingly good. But the cake is probably the answer for the solid. For liquid bread, are we gonna include liquor in liquid bread? Because I don't think so.
No, no. I think the question. I think beer. Well, so it says best beer slash drink you had in
Okay,
Vegas too. So
so
we,
there's a
we've botched
martini.
Keith's questions in the past. So feel free to jump in
Yeah,
this however you
whatever.
want.
So so there's a martini at the Chandelier Bar called "Video Killed the Radio Star." It
Okay.
is super dangerous. Just kind of tastes like you're pounding uh, some very nice OJ, but it's
All right.
like 80% booze. And the
Danger.
three of those that I had were just horrible ideas across the board. Um, but God, it was delicious. Like fuck, that was good. So yeah, I would say that those are my answers for my tops. We did. I mean, because I haven't done any of the super good food stuff while I've been here, because there's been a lot of coming and going and trying to decide the different shit that we wanted to do. So it's I kind of and I don't have Vegas is kind of my wife and I's place, and so the stuff that I know that she would have like the most FOMO because she's not here for I've been kind of trying to avoid.
Sure. Sure.
Um, so yeah, that's I think that's my answers right there.
That makes sense. All right. So the next two questions that we got this week were they are very good questions. I'll quickly read them. I want to answer them later only because A of time and B like we're in kind of an uprising and they deserve more attention. The first one is the D&D alignment of each Fab hero. Um, I
That's gonna
let's
take some
do.
time.
Let's take some time. Let's quickly do the 3 that came out for Uprising, Dromai, Fae, and Icelander. Just to
Okay.
give some scratch, but we can make a chart and like fun little mini episode out of this because this is a fun question, I think.
All right. Well,
Um,
just start naming them off, and you name it, and I can give you an argument. You want to do it that way?
yeah, that's fine. Let's do
All right.
Icelander.
Lawful good.
That's what I would have
Um,
said as well. Just very
yep.
straightforward,
She
lawful good.
is. She is. Yeah. Very straightforward. Lawful good. Trying to champion with the people. Believes in the rule of law, but she's borderline chaotic good. I would say
I was gonna
mainly
say chaotic
because
good only because messing with the elements is a very chaotic thing.
yeah. And then walking into Volcor, she's actually obviously against the law and order of the establishment there. But I don't
Sure.
think that would carry, in a wide sense, right? It's identifying evil first,
Right.
and
Going to
then
Mordor doesn't mean that you're breaking the law. Like, yeah, that doesn't make you a revolution or a
right,
rebel,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Faye, Draconic Ninja.
Oh, chaotic good. Like
I know nothing
we're
about
up
the
here.
character, but I was gonna go chaotic good or chaotic evil based on however they fall in
Uh,
the lore.
Chaotic good, trying to upset the balance of power and bring power back to the people, for the people. Very much Star Wars rebellion type, you know.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Gotcha.
so
Uh,
that's fine.
Dromai Ash Artist.
Lawful evil.
Explain to me lawful evil. As a guy that's played a lot of D&D but never really delved too deep into like a lawful evil character, give me a quick hit of what that looks like in this context.
Lawful evil is the Empire.
Oh,
They are
okay.
the rule of
Okay.
law. Yeah, they are the rule of law. It doesn't mean that their laws and policies aren't fucking evil because they are. Um, but since they are the law, they expect people to follow the law, which is their law, and their
Sure.
law is not good for most.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
the lawful evil. Yep. Because I
That
think
makes
that's
sense.
actually even the I think she's that's Dromai is relating somewhat to like the art of the character on Command and Conquer, which is just 100% a dude commanding an army. So
All right. That was the D&D alignment. Next question comes from Iron Mag 44 via Discord. This is the one I want to table only because we just got Uprising and we're going to get through Uprising first, but I wanted to let them know that we did see their question, that the next couple of cards that we need to see for Dorinthia that will help her in a future set. And I think I want to table this a little bit just because A, it's too early to see what she needs in this brand new meta that no one's explored yet, and B, we need to get through Uprising first. But Iron Eggs, I have your question. It's pinned. It's not going anywhere. I didn't want
I
you to
will
think I
I
didn't
will
see it.
s- I will say that Dorinthia was performing pretty well in the Battle Hardened at one point. So we may be coming close,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure.
yeah. The cards they got from the Blitz decks were good. Oh,
Yeah, the
I did Flesh and Blood shit. Abby and I played those stupid Blitz decks together.
well, you did shit.
We did
Way
shit.
to do
Even
shit.
Abby did things. Holy shit, we did. Look at that.
Wow.
We battled those.
You
Yeah,
did
before. Look
things. Yeah.
at that. That's what we did.
But I think
Um,
Dorinthia getting run through and just having a way more efficient way to give a Dawnblade go again
yes.
uh, has helped a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I I I agree with you. I think that's the problem in my cube, and I noticed that when building cube is that like there is a deficiency in giving Dawnblade go again, and I
Hmm.
think that carries over to classic constructed by
Yep,
virtue of
it's
the
just
smart
hard to
cards.
do.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, no giveaway announcement this week. Please, if you haven't already, go to the Realm Gaming Network and sign up for their 10K and 5K next weekend. Not this coming one, not the 17th and 18th, but the 25th and 26th.
Now,
Go check
are
them out.
we playing together on Sunday?
I don't know what my plan. Excuse me, my planned Sunday is.
Okay.
Yeah, only I think we'll be there. I would like to play if we're gonna be there in the morning. It's a matter of whether we'll be there in the morning. We have a wedding Saturday
Okay.
night, and you know how that can go. Like, you know, I could wake up Sunday morning and still be drunk, and then have to have Abby drag me to Mansfield. So, um, but I'm excited to meet people there. I know this is gonna be a huge event. Please pre-register if you're planning on going. This event like is capped, so they will turn people away if you don't if they fill up. So please make sure that you do that.
Yes, it's also just helpful for planning logistically in general.
Right, right, like
So,
staff and all of that stuff. So I mean, totally feel free to come day of. Worst case scenario, there will be Uprising Winnabox drafts going on all weekend.
and
That's
I'll
where
be
I'll be
there. Come
spending my
on.
time. Yeah, Logan will be there. I'll be there Sunday. The venue that they do this at is great. They run great tournaments. It'll be a good time. But come play. It'll be the first CC weekend of the new format, and that'll be awesome.
Be wild.
Um,
It's gonna be wild.
it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of cool people are going to be in Columbus for the time, and that's going to be worth it all on its own. Follow us on Twitter at FleshPod and Discord. Give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, or if your podcast player does reviews or ratings, make sure you give a 5-star. That'd be great. If you want to email us, you can, fleshandpod@gmail.com. That's fleshandpod@gmail.com. The best way, though, is via our Discord. There's a link to that down in the show notes. Hop in there. There's a lot of different channels and a lot of people different talking in all of them. So, talking sports, we talk flesh and blood, we talk music, we talk beers, we talk food, we talk whatever. It's a really cool place to hang out.
Bread.
That's the best way. Bread. It's the best way to ask us questions and stuff like that as well. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Jerman, IMJRMAN, treating politics, flesh and blood, food, all of the things that are in the Discord, but it's just like on Twitter. So it's like on that hellscape of a website. Logan, where can people find you on the internet?
On Twitter, at Logan Peterson, you can go ahead and check out the the Vegas mega thread of massive amounts of shit talking that occurred at points in time. I also, funny, real quick aside, because honestly, we're not even at an hour yet.
Oh, you're
But
good.
I was sitting down. Tommy was playing against a gentleman that I don't know, and then the other Iowan that happened to be in Vegas, Dwayne, he was playing against Adam from Combat Chain, and so I just
Oh,
pulled
okay.
a chair up in between the matches and just was watching. And then Tommy hands the guy his business card for, hey, this is my podcast, check it out. And the guy's like, are you on Podbean? And I'm like, all three of us just kind of stopped, like, what the fuck is a Podbean? And so I'm like, keep playing your matches. I'm going to figure this out. And so I pull it up, I Google it, and we are live on Podbean. You can find us on Podbean if that is your choice. If that's your choice, more power to you. I'm not going to yuck your yum.
Not gonna yuck your
That
yum. Yeah,
is
we're on
that is
everything.
yeah. And so and Tommy was on Tommy at Fresh and Buds, and you should check out Tommy's podcast as well. And Adam from Combat Chain, you should check out their podcast as well. They both are also on Podbean. So if you are a Podbean person, there is more on that bean than you know. So you should just click that bean. Anyway,
Oh
uh,
no.
nope, nope, nope. Anyway, yeah, on Twitter at Logan Peterson, PETRSEN. There was, like I said, there's you can go and unroll the last 72 hours of shit talking, and then see a bunch of really cool stuff from Vegas. But otherwise, most of my tweeting is flesh and blood, and then whatever in just dumb shit I'm getting up to, which for the next kind of feels like the next 4 weeks, it still is going to be a lot of flesh and blood,
Yeah.
and some baseball as the Yankees just pounded the living shit out of the Cubs over the weekend.
You threw a 35
Uh,
mile an hour pitch to like one of the best hitters in baseball.
it
So
was 91 middle,
oh
and
no,
the
when
eggs.
you were down 14-4, someone threw a 35 mile an
Oh yeah,
hour
they
ball.
threw a 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the Strashers middle, 91 middle to Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh yeah.
That had 120 mile an hour exit velo, which is the hardest hit home run in the Statcast era.
Yeah.
So let's not throw middle in the low 90s to fucking the mighty Giancarlo Stanton. You do not throw TMGS that pitch ever, because it is going to go to, it is going to not be on Waveland. It's going to be in fucking Ohio by the time it lands.
Yeah, like if you can't
So
find an off-speed pitch that's out of the zone or something, then just walk him. Like
yeah,
like if you can't find a way to get creative, it's okay. Most people can't. Just walk him.
just middle 91.
Oh my god,
He
insane.
turned on
Well,
that thing so fucking hard.
it was. I saw the breakdown of that game from John Boy, and it was just like, oh my god,
Oh no.
gross.
Yeah.
Well, The Reds are terrible too. All right. Hey, thank you everybody for coming out to this week's episode of Flesh and Blood. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.